It's not big enough data to be called big data, that's for sure. Funsies data, fun size data.
That's what my 14-year-old would say.
Oh boy, what's up with the lens? Focus. Okay, that's.
Working headphone jack.
That's really crooked. That's better-ish. Okay. Don't worry. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I think you all know you're at Angular Event. This is our June meetup. We have Jenn as our lovely speaker tonight, so everyone give a round of applause for Jenn. I want to thank our sponsors, Virtual, for the space, and for, I think, this month only, not clear, but I reached out to my employer, Object Computing, to sponsor the pizza and beer, and they were generous enough to provide as much without any real agenda whatsoever, other than just they like me. So, so please tweet at Object Computing Inc. I think they're actually just Object Computing on Twitter. If you get a chance to say thanks. They're based in St. Louis. They're a consulting firm, and yeah, like I didn't actually think they would sponsor our meetup here in the Twin Cities, but they did. So that was very nice. Anyone have any announcements they would like to make goings on in the Angular community, or looking for work, or?
My name is Evelyn Radcliffe. I just graduated and I look for work for entry level work here.
Cool. Thank you, Evelyn. If you're looking for someone entry level, please go talk. Cool. Thank you, Drew. Anybody else? Is Jocelyn still based out of Edina, Drew? 494 before, but I didn't see it last time I drove by there.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, then, without further ado, I'll give the floor to Jenn. Thank you, Jenn.
All right. Thank you for having me. Okay, so today we're going to talk about putting it all together, how to nail that interview, get the job, and then keep your value. And really, that's the value part is the place we're going to spend most of our time today. And through all of this, just as a little heads up, so who I am. I always try to save the battery and then forget. So my name is Jennifer Simon. I go by Jenn Simon, and I'm a solution sales specialist for Project Online for Microsoft. I have been there not quite 3 months, and I did this exact talk last fall for a group of 200 veterans. And during that talk, I actually had to listen to myself. The little bird in the back of my head said, Jenn, you actually hate what you're doing. What are you doing? You don't like your job. You haven't been happy in 2 years. What's your problem? So the very next week, I actually reached out to Microsoft and started the whole process to land the job. And you'll hear about all of that during this talk as well. I don't get paid for a job, but I try to raise a lot of sponsorship money as I'm on the Women Leading in Technology board, and I plan 4 events every year at the Metropolitan. And we bring together 250 women from early career to late career, and we're all about empowering women. But also complexity. We all have to do this together. So we're really encouraging male leaders and people who are running teams and things to come and join us because number one, if you're hiring, it's a great place to go. And number two, it really shows the support for all of the general community. Okay, so this, expectations versus reality. This is totally stolen from LinkedIn. Somebody posted this meeting, right? And so for the agenda today, we're going to start out by talking about consultative sales. How to sell yourself, what's important. We'll talk a little bit about the gig economy and the differences between full-time employment and consulting work. I think a lot of people in this room probably know about it. I think there's a few full-time employees, a few consultants here, but we'll talk a little bit about it because it really does frame your reference into different types of work and what you can do. And then we'll go into actually what is networking. How do you come to one of these groups, meet people, how do you go to places, people. We'll talk a little bit about that, why it's important for the beginnings of landing a job. And then we'll go through interviewing for a job, landing the job, and then presenting at the end. So, consultative sales. Sales is helping, not selling. This is something that most young salespeople I've ever talked to, I've been guilty of it myself. I have totally thrown up all of my company's information without listening to anything. Everybody does it. But realistically, me as a salesperson, I work with Microsoft Project Online. My job is to help solve the problem of many projects. I don't really sell Project Online. It's going to sell itself exactly the work. And by the way, don't ask me any questions about that because I really done it for 12 weeks and I have other people do it. But that's where if I'm talking to a customer and saying, oh, my product can do all of these things, it means nothing to them. Because I'm not helping them, I'm not solving the problem. So even if you are going to interview for a job, guess what? They have a problem that they're trying to solve and you can help them fix it. So your job is to tell them how you're going to help them fix it. You're going to help them solve their problem. In the reality, you're going to sell yourself to them to do your job. But we're also going to take a step and we're going to talk about what not to do. I have seen this in many, many cases. I use this particular story, and it is it's an older story than mine. I've had a few other ones, but it's a pretty good one. And years ago, I was in enterprise sales, and I was moving from one company to another. And in the current company, I had a company car. And moving to the new company, I had to buy a car in one day. So I quit my job on Monday. I had Friday to buy a car, and I had to start the job on Monday. So I went out, and I actually used a car broker. I knew I was going to be very short on time. We had already figured out what kinds of cars we wanted. And so I called a car broker who I knew and was like, okay, I want a used Volvo, a used Saab, or a new Honda. I just want to look at all three of them. This is my nicer mom car that I was getting. And I was willing to spend a little bit of money on it. Well, going to be fine. So the car broker sets up appointments. So all of these are pre-set up appointments. They already know what I want. They know what I'm looking for, and they know what I have. They have all of my information. So we go to the Volvo dealership. Now the other piece of information that's important is my husband happens to be a power lifter. So his shoulders are really super wide and he actually doesn't get cars. So one of these challenges is going to be getting a car that he fit in. So we get in the Volvo, he switches in the Volvo, and we couldn't afford to step up the one that he actually would fit in. So we drove around the block. They were super nice. They were great to work with. And we just said, thanks, but no thanks, not fine. So then we go to the Saab dealership, and the Saab dealership rolls out the red carpet for us and brings the exact car that we were talking about looking for. And we get in the car, and it truly was the funnest car I've ever driven. It was awesome. And my husband drove it. The sales guy was telling us all the bells and whistles because he read the rap sheet that he had before us. He knew exactly what I was looking for. So my husband is ready to sign right there. He doesn't even want to go look at the car, but I want to do the due diligence and do everything we said we were going to do because we always make decisions too fast. So let's just do this. So we go to the Honda dealership. And the sales manager of the Honda dealership walks up to us and I explained exactly what we were doing. Now, number one, he didn't read anything about our information. We didn't have an actual appointment there, even though the car broker had set it up. So they knew nothing about what we wanted. So I told them exactly what we were doing. We're looking at this, and this, and these are the reasons, and blah, 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 and if I'm going to buy a Honda, this is the kind I want. So instead of selling me on why I should look at one of his Honda Accords, he told me all of the reasons why I shouldn't buy those other two cars. How terrible they were, this is going to be awful, and that's awful, and that's awful. So all I heard from him was negative. But meanwhile, not telling me anything about what they actually have. So then in test drive, I get annoyed with him immediately and decide, well, I just want to test drive them. So just put me in something to test drive. So he sends me out with a brand new sales guy who, I don't know, he maybe even remember. It was crazy. And they put me in the lowest end Honda Accord that I've never ever in my years of purchase. Now mind you, I just came off driving the most fun car I've ever had, the most boring thing on the planet. And we get in the car and I looked at my husband and I'm like, I need so many nurses. But I was driving around the block, but we were actually at the Maplewood Auto Mall, so that block was really super long. And the poor kid had sit in the back seat and so my husband and played with how cool his house. And we got back to the parking lot and I turned around and looked at it and I just said, you need to know about this sales manager is never going to teach you anything. All he's going to teach you is all of the worst parts of his sales. He failed on every single level. He didn't listen to me. He didn't do his research. He didn't do anything. He was combative with me. He told me I was wrong. Even though I might have been super wrong, it doesn't matter because I was the customer and I was the one looking for what I needed. He needed to solve my problem. I needed to buy a car, and he did. And he did not help me solve that problem. I went the very next morning and got the second. And it really wasn't fast by it. Anyway, so, but I tell that story because it truly has each and every part of being successful in sales and selling yourself and failing because it's very easy to do. So the first thing is you have to build trust. You can't do anything without building trust. If you're on a team and we're all developers in this room, you're on a team and you don't trust your project manager to get that information, communicate it to other teams what you need or what you do, guess what? You don't trust that person. If somebody new, you have a new consultant come onto your team, they have to earn your trust really super quickly. And can anybody in the room give me an example of earning trust really quickly?
Doing something nice for somebody with no expectation of anything in return.
And being willing to explain things and not be judgmental when someone doesn't get everything right away and helping them. Just helping explain where there is some difficulty in communication.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I've actually had this discussion a few different times when I've done these talks, and it's interesting because at Microsoft, we have Microsoft Teams and there's Slack and Zoom and all of these different ways that we're communicating with everybody now. And a few things I've learned was it's hard to build trust over that type of a platform because you don't really get to know each other. You're just IMing all day long. If you get on that conference call and everybody's talking, and then all of a sudden you're building rapport and your teams are remote, then suddenly you're starting to build trust. But it's very easy for somebody to say, "Oh, I can't help you right now. You have to go find it yourself or do something else." Well, unfortunately, the person who needs the help will never trust you again. Never ask you again, and that just degrades everything. So with that, you always want to make sure that you're building trust between your teammates and really the people around you that you do what you say you do. And really being honest with yourself and with everybody else. If you can't accomplish something, just say, "I really don't think I'm going to be able to do it." And if you if you make a mistake, own up to it. Say you're sorry. I don't know how many email drafts are found in the draft box that have your apologies for. So it happens. Everybody gets busy. You miss things. You do things. You make a mistake. You have a bug in your code. That happens. It's totally fine. But also, so the nonverbal communications are so interesting to me because they can be positive and negative in very interesting ways. I once had a principal consultant out on a project, and he's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. The guy is a genius. He doesn't ever like to be that. He's way too nice to be that. So the project manager and the directors would always laugh because it happened all the time. They would be in giant sprint planning meetings, and they'd be going through things, and all of a sudden, bam, you get a scrunchy face, and everything was going crazy. And the project manager would stop everything and look at them and say, "Yeah, good luck. You didn't tell us." he always started out with, well, I don't know, but I think it should be blah, 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 and then he would tell them whatever he decided that he had, and they did whatever he said, because they trusted him 100%. But his nonverbal cues gave it up every time. It wasn't because he raised his hand and said, hey, I know what's wrong with you, I can fix the problem. He didn't actually want to share it because it was usually bad news. They usually had to unload code and do something else. It was a very complicated project. But nonverbal cues building trust. If somebody, let me think of another example. Okay, so I used to work with somebody a long time ago who really thought he was better than everybody else. He actually happened to be. And what the feedback I got from the community was they don't trust him because he was so arrogant talking to them that by the time they would get to the end of the interview, they didn't want to look at him because they just really realized he was only about himself. And that's something everybody can do. If you're only about yourself and not helping somebody else, then really you're not giving back and not trusting anybody. So the other really important part, you build trust. In order to do that, you have to be a good listener. You have to be able to ask a question and not answer it yourself. You have to wait for the other person to give you the answer. And you need to ask open-ended questions. Who, what, why, where, when. That's when you're in journalism school, right? They count in your head. They do all of these things. But these are the types of questions where, again, you have to ask the question. And early on in sales, I learned this thing called the golden silence. And I still kind of do it today when I'm on the phone. I actually bite my lip a little bit, so I stop talking. So I ask the question, and the golden silence is waiting for seconds because that person is thinking about the answer. Sometimes it can be, if you're an extroverted person, it can be really awkward to wait that long. If you're an introverted person, you can wait, But at the same time, they have to process your question and they're trying to come up with the right answer. If you answer it for them, you're never going to know if they're authentic. And I really call this in because you really need to ask questions and be a good listener. And you still have to do it. By the end of this, you're having an open-ended conversation, and it's probably not an awkward conversation anyway because the conversation is flowing at this point. You're asking a question, they're answering it, they're probably expanding on it, they're asking you a question, and you're really going back and forth. And being a good listener is really the most important thing because if you don't remember what they said because you were only thinking about what you did or what you want to say next, then that's really where it becomes powerful. And I've also been guilty of that too. I think everybody has, where you ask one question and you're waiting for the answer, but you're really thinking about how you're going to respond, and then instead of soaking in what they're saying. And soaking in what they're saying probably will change the question. Okay, so we built trust, and then now we become good listeners. Now we're going to learn a little thing I learned a long time ago. It was at a sales conference, and I call it the FBI. It's not a little acronym for feature, benefit, and impact. A feature, all of your developers, you create features all day long, right? And a feature is what something is. A benefit is what something does. So this feature is going to let you log in easier. But why does that matter? It matters if my impact is I get in within 30 seconds and make an autonomous sale because it was really super easy. That's the impact of the company. So anytime you're thinking about it, your feature, benefit, but what's the impact? That's really super important. Has anybody been in a software vendor before? So you've heard everybody probably know all of the features and benefits and that is so wonderful. But how many times have you been in that and they actually told you, oh, by the way, this is going to make this way easier, and this is going to be your impact. Like, how many times does that happen? I honestly will take a little bit of demos at Microsoft because of that. Because a lot of it was way too much feature benefit. Nobody cares what's the impact to the customer. How are we solving the problem? Ultimately, in the end, we solve the problem through the impact. And making the impact is always how we be remembered. That's legacy, that's everything about it, is what their impact can make. And it could be small. It could be a small impact that makes you feel good and makes somebody else feel. It doesn't matter, whatever that is. I use Popeye as an example. I found it on. So, but Popeye is the customer. Spinach is the product. What's the result? He's all of a sudden super powerful and he runs super fast and comes to things, right? But there's a future benefit and impact for everything you do. And really, for you, let's think about it in the interview. You are the future. The benefit is what you do. What is the impact you bring to the company? The impact is, I've already accomplished this many sales. I developed this many websites. I learned Angular in 6 months and now the design on my team. All of those things make an impact. And making an impact is truly one of the things that will always hold your value at any company, because no matter if you work for that company or not, you can always take that story with you. Because that's your story, you own it, and you have it. All right, so we learn trust, we're looking for listeners, thinking about future benefit and impact. That's really the basis of consultative sales. And it's not that complicated, believe it or not. Many sales organizations like to make it more complicated, but it's really not. Be a good human, try to help somebody solve a problem. Think about your own future benefit and impact, and then build trust and see how you do it. So transferring over a little bit to the gig economy, because it's such a huge thing right now. I mean, there are probably equal amount of jobs of full-time positions, and probably even more full-time positions than I know about. Plus, there's tons and tons of consulting positions. So you automatically think about Uber and Lyft when you think about the gig economy. Being a consultant as a web developer is also a gig economy. And as a matter of fact, my Uber driver tonight is a web developer. Who else knows that? But for contracting and consulting, I mean, contracting is definitely on the rise. Companies are bringing on more and more people for shorter terms, but then they don't, and again, the numbers are always good, but it keeps growing. And it doesn't seem like it's going away. And every single time you think all of our jobs just got outsourced to India, they come back here, it's a pandemic. It just happens. The businesses benefit by hiring consultants because they don't pay out for benefits, they can the company, they don't worry about legal things, they can hire you for a shorter period of time. But on the flip side, there's also benefits to being a full-time. You get the benefits, you know where you're going to go to work each and every day, you know how much you're going to get paid. It's all right there laid out for you. But even companies here in this market have made full-time employment and they can also, right? There's companies where all of a sudden you sold off one thing and now another thing's happening and then you got outsourced and this thing went that way and that thing went that way. Well, the bottom line is each and every one of you need to work on your career. Because you own your career, your company does not own your career. And that's just the way it is right now. People, it's very rare that somebody goes to a company and works there for 20 years. Granted, I worked for a company at Microsoft, and I know there's companies that help partners and company writers, people who have done it forever and ever, but all of them are changing. You just get all of the changes and everything going on there. And all of it, just really think about what's best for you and your family. If you're a younger person and you just got married and you're planning on having a family, maybe not the best idea. Even though I know a ton of people who do it. So it just depends on how it works out. I mean, even in my own relationship, my husband actually happens to be a personal trainer who left the program to do that. And we talked about it, and he was like, "Gosh, I kind of want to learn to do web development. It's consulting would be a perfect thing. I could stay somewhere for 6 months. I could just hop off and go on to the next thing and move forward, and that would be perfect for his attention span and what he likes." So he had a company for a very long time. So it really just depends on what you think the family needs and what the best opportunity is. Because you can make a lot of money in consulting. When you have an expert at something and you take that from a company to company, all of a sudden you're making $35 because you've got a And that any of those work, it just really depends on the situation. Computers. This happens, right? Get a LinkedIn invite, all of a sudden you're next. So my recommendation, establish trusted relationships. Maybe 3 or 4, depends on what you can do with your network. The people that, if you're wondering, like, am I going to be good enough? Somebody you can call up and, hey, I really, I'm wondering about this, and I'm not really looking right now, but I'm kind of curious. Somebody you can bounce ideas off of. Computers know exactly what's going on. They know every single policy, they got everything. However though, and especially if you're looking at consulting, make sure that you keep a spreadsheet for yourself, and it's actually not that idea for job search. This time they do Microsoft, I didn't do it, but I've had a spreadsheet for almost every job search I've ever been involved in, just to get But make sure you keep a spreadsheet. And if you're going into a consulting gig, and I'm going to use Best Buy as an example because I think they're the #1 company in town where this happens. Best Buy has so many positions open any given day that they have, I think there's 17 companies on their list now. These 17 companies have all of their recruiting power and everybody's getting phone calls for the same position. I would experience it. But you say yes to tech systems, and then you say yes to XYZ company over here. All of a sudden, you're double submitted, and if you get double submitted in Best Buy for the same role, you're out. They won't even know. And it's probably not your fault. You probably thought it was a different position, or you weren't really quite sure. So keep a spreadsheet and make sure you keep their job numbers that they send you. Keep it all there. And then you'll know, okay, I got somebody to this job, tech systems, but maybe they don't have access to this other one. And by the way, I don't know if you guys found this, but if tech systems comes out with a job, they're going to get all of that stuff. So if you have a trusted relationship with that person, then you're going to be able to say, oh, hey, what about this one? What about that one? So you're not just getting submitted randomly. I've seen it happen way too many times. It actually happened to me when I was working for a consulting company where we only hired our people full-time. They were all full-time employees. So by the time they got to my desk, they've already signed all their paperwork. They are an employee of that company. And right when one person started, I sent him over to Thomson Reuters, and sure enough, he was double submitted. Somebody was being unethical and submitted him to I had the paper trail, so I won. But he easily could have been just ousted from there completely because he was double submitted, and it was just lucky that it was a time where our relationship really didn't matter then. So I really worked around it. But be very careful about it and make sure you take good notes and keep a spreadsheet because you'll get confused with this. And then check in, your friend that Drew gets your job, check in with them. See how he's doing in 6 months. See if he needs anything. What are you looking for, Drew? How my friends want to do it? Send your friends to him. I send my friends to my recruiter friends all the time. I did it 3 times a day. Because I see a post job, I know a friend is looking, I'm out of the game right now, which I think is more fun. So I just shoot them over on LinkedIn, get them connected, and then they can take it from there. I don't know if it's the right fit or not, but everybody else can figure that out. At least you make it. It's okay to roll. And then maintain activity and make sure that you don't stop. If a recruiter reaches out to you, I know people on LinkedIn complain about this all the time. The recruiter will do my profile, and it happens to me too. There's one company in town that really thinks I should be like it. And I really could never run it. So, and it's very clear. There was a time where I had nerdy sales as my LinkedIn title, and I still was doing things to be like that. So it's good to be good. But so that actually brings me to the networking. And in the networking portion, and this is why I love doing these meetups because you're already here. So But not only this, but there's mini bar and mini demo. And sometimes there's MHT events that are really good community events. And the thing I plan is really moving in technology. Really find something that is good for you to figure out where you're going to have some commonality. You can all come into this group and say, okay, I'm working on this for you, I do this for you. Everybody's got commonality here. If you go into one of these big giant events, like the mini demo events, and how many people are going to do it? Yeah, so the you want to go to those events, it can be overwhelming, especially if you are because you walk in and it's just hundreds of people, it's nuts. But that's why I personally love it. It's awesome. But what you do is I'll tell you what I say. What you do at an event though is you go in and you stand and drink. Whether or not you drink alcohol or not, it doesn't matter. You stand and drink wine or you drink wine and you make friends with the person in front of you and the person behind you. Don't go stand and drink wine. You don't need because that means you won't have anybody. You stand and drink wine and say hello to somebody, you're going to have a new best friend by the time you get through it. Especially at one of those giant events because it takes a while to get through it. And all of a sudden by the end, you're introducing your own friends to other people and people are coming up and that everything just naturally grows. But you really always need to work on your network. I have talked to so many senior leaders who said, oh, my job search was brutal because I was so busy working 60, 70, 80 hours a week for my company. I never networked. I let them network go. And then once they weren't working for that company anymore, they didn't know where they were going to go to. So always build it. And it doesn't mean you have to do it 24/7 all the time. Just stay in touch with people. Go to coffee with friends. Go to coffee from your boot camp. Go to coffee with people that you met 2 jobs ago. Go to coffee with somebody, the retailer or community who's only different. Oh, I hear you. That would help you. I've seen so many teams where even 4 people down, they don't know that guy. He just wears his headphones on. Well, that's it. Because I bet he's probably working on something pretty cool, and then you'll learn something, and you'll have some kind of commonality somewhere, because you're in the same building for a week. And when you think about your network, it's all old colleagues, friends, people you went to college with, people you went to high school with. I actually work at Microsoft with 2 people who went to my high school. We just realized that last week. It's great. So, but you just don't know where that network is going to go, and that's why you need to spread your wings, especially if you're looking for a job. And then build relationships with your coworkers. I kind of joked about being in person 4 tables over, but it's not really a joke. Because by the way, if that person's a project manager and they have a project coming up and you're just sitting down, guess who they're going to call first? Because they knew you, they talked to you, you were interested, you wanted to learn what they did. And I know some of the big companies do these things called get to know you meetings. And I've been doing them a lot because I'm so new in my job right now, so I'm constantly scheduling meetings to try to figure out what their need is. But if you do get to know you meetings, if you're new on a team or new to a consulting gig, I'm going to figure out who knows what's going on and see if you can do a 20-minute, 30-minute little coffee somewhere to make it easy for them. And they'll tell you all kinds of things. And then also, you that person that somebody else you. If they want your expertise, make sure you say yes to them. Because again, you're going to learn from each other no matter what. And then the industry events and meetups. So I talked about mini bar and mini demo. There are some, especially in the development space, there's tons of meetups like this that you can do. But then really paying attention to, things that come up with the tech years thing and how government is not extended after a while, but can come show up every once in a while. And just things like that, change it up and change up your network. So you're not seeing all of the same people all the time. But you'll know you have some friends. And then meeting for coffee, lunch, or happy hour. I usually try to plan coffee meetings earlier in the morning, so I'm trying to get those around 7:30, 8 o'clock, so I can be done and on to my actual day by 9 o'clock. And then a lot of times, lunches have been really hard just because everything gets busy for me during the day now, but I'll do a lot of happy hours because I can kind of wrap it up around 4 o'clock. So I'll do quite a few happy hours with people just to try to figure it out. But that's really showing me that. But again, you have to do what works for you. There's no single recipe that's going to be best for your own situation. I just have worked my life, so I have a little bit of time where my kids aren't really done till 7:30 anyway, so I can do a little quick happy hour and then I can go pick them up and we're good to go for the week. But that works for me, what was going to work for somebody else. And then do your homework, research. And I'll talk more about this, but research is extremely important. If you're in a meeting with people and you've never talked to them before, you need to look them up on LinkedIn or anywhere else. Find out what they're about. Finding out what people are doing on Facebook. Oh, you went fishing last weekend? Oh, great, I was there 2 weeks ago, blah, blah, blah. It's an icebreaker. But the only way you're gonna get to that is by doing research. So when I got my job at Microsoft, I had 6 interviews in the span of about a week and a half. Not all of them were in person, most of them were web conference, but I researched each and every single person prior to getting to my first interview. So I knew the list of people I was going to talk to. I did the research on each and every person. I went through, printed out their LinkedIn profile. I probably didn't put them in but I had all the printouts, everything was right there, everything was organized, it's all there, and then I also wrote down all of my questions, anything I was going to have to ask, anything I needed to remember, any of it, and super well prepared to go. But that's the level of research you need to do to get the type of job that is going for it. But also, doing that level of research really shows somebody that you cared enough to agree with that. And you don't even have to call it being a stock because it's not that everybody does it. That's what you do. And then keep in touch. And now I say this carefully because there are people I would love to see every day of you, but I only see once. I don't have time. They don't have time. We like each other a lot. We'll see each other at events every once in a while, but actually getting together for coffee, it just isn't. It's not realistic. It doesn't happen that often. But also, I know them well enough that if I figure out something, somebody needs something or somebody wants something, or maybe this person can help them, I'll always just go ahead and make that connection. It's easy. Speaking of that, social media. Now, I'm going to start out with social media with, again, this is my personal opinion about social media. Everybody has their own opinion. And no, I don't include Snapchat or Instagram, because I don't do that. Well, I can really use Snapchat. So, LinkedIn. It's truly, truly powerful tool. LinkedIn is actually the first thing I've ever really got into. And it was because back in 2006, it was only 2 years old, I had landed at ADP, but I had already had 3 or 4 jobs. And all of these jobs had a ton of people in my network. And once I realized, oh my gosh, I can reconnect with all of these amazing people that you just naturally would lose touch with. And I naturally connected with them. That's actually how I ended up in the IT industry. It was because over the course of the years, I realized I was just getting people that and I was kind of in a, it's 2008, I was in a little bit of a career crisis. And thought, oh, I'll try stuff. I've been getting people for years. I want to do that. I went to a marketing creative firm and I tried staffing and I realized I fell in love with IT. So that led me to my next job. But that job I got because of LinkedIn, especially because of LinkedIn, but also because I built trusted relationships from the very early on. So the story is, the marketing creative firm reorganized and I was reorged out for the first time in my life. I was kind of not sure what to do about it, and it was crazy being a salesperson because I was actually over my number, and they still asked my position. So it was kind of nuts. So what I did was I sent out a LinkedIn email to 23 people I knew, hiring managers, recruiters, random people, just anybody I knew who would have some influence. Told them exactly what happened, told them the story. This was a Tuesday. the very next morning, Wednesday morning, one of my friends from high school and college, and now we're in either similar positions, different companies, but he was having breakfast with the recruiter from this little tiny consulting company, and the recruiter was trying to talk to him, and the whole entire time he's like, "Oh, we always have you outside. Seriously, have to talk to you outside. I just spoke to her a month ago. She's amazing. I don't think she's going to be happy. I think she really wants to go out and maybe she really talk to her." And they kind of ended the breakfast and realized, okay, I don't know if the recruiter probably would have followed up with me, who knows. But my friend Phil walks out of that, looks at his phone, and he's like, "Huh, he's available." Because he was one of the 23 that received the note. So we went back in and said, "Hey, she's available." So I had an interview, a phone interview with him the next morning. I was actually a little angry because I was really didn't know it. And then we talked for so long, I like brought it up to the next one I had. But we talked for so long, it made total sense. And he brought me in the following Tuesday with the owners, and I was hired. And that was because I was smart about LinkedIn, sent them a message, trusted sources, people I knew that would help me, and timing was great. So all of that can work out. It's just a matter of making that happen. And LinkedIn is a really powerful tool. Keep your profile up to date. They make it very easy in the corner to just follow the steps. And if you're closed to opportunities, you don't really want to hear from recruiters, just say not open opportunities. So, and I would actually go in and change the setting, the security setting, but for me, no one can see my contacts just because of the wide year I have, everything is closed. But I'll share any information anybody needed, so that's good. All right, so then there's Twitter. So I personally use Twitter, but this is how I got here. For me, Twitter is my connection to the community, the development community, the broader IT communities, and it really is a learning tool for me. Every day I spend more, I go on in the morning, I go on in the afternoon, and I do it strictly for learning purposes because somebody's out with some good article or something. And sometimes it's just good to have a conversation with people. Sometimes you're frustrated, you want to say something. For me, it works because it's truly, but I use it as more of a conversation than. And for Facebook, if you want to see my kids here, kids dogs or cats, it would be really I don't know. Who knows my last name? It might be, oh, yeah, my profile picture is now me and I work because I was busy. So it just depends. But again, with social media, use it how you feel best, that suits you. And a lot of it, I mean, Instagram, my husband is a huge Instagram person, but I'm not a picture person, I'm not really, it's later for that. I mean, so now you built your network, you have your social media presence, you're probably going to become popular on social media because you post something smart, or you'll repost an article and then make it readable. But if you have a repost an article, please make sure you do it. That happens a lot. So now we're going to go and talk about applications and resumes. So when I made the decision to apply to Microsoft last fall for these questions, the next week I thought, okay, how do we get to Microsoft? Well, I'm going to, first of all, reach out to my friend Jacqueline, who is a leader over at Microsoft, and I know her through my volunteer activity. And so I'll reach out to her first, and I won't bother my friend Val, who is an architect there, because she's not in the sales side anymore. So I'll just start with Jacqueline. So Jacqueline said, okay, what you should do is look for these positions, she gave me some very specific directions on what to do to get into Microsoft, and in fact, the same exact advice I told everybody heading into Microsoft, because we really don't know another way. But I went on the Glassdoor, and for some reason, Glassdoor was the better one than the actual Microsoft site, not sure, but I was seeing better positions through there. So I set up some alerts, and I set myself up to figure it out. and went on to Glassdoor and saw the position. This was probably November, early January. I saw one and thought, dang, that's it. That's the position. This is solution sales specialist and sales. It's in my workplace. That's really cool. I love Microsoft Teams and great. And so I saw the position and then I reached out to Jacqueline and she said, okay, go ahead and apply. Here's the manager's name and I'll let him know you're applying. So I applied to that position and I didn't hear back from him right away. So 4 days later, I sent him a note directly through email on LinkedIn and said, hey, I talked to Jacqueline, I applied to this exact position. I'm really interested, blah, 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 blah. And he responded back and said, okay, I need you to apply to this position. So he sent me a new link to apply to. And went in the new link, applied to the position, and then we set up interviews from there. But I came in through a leadership training. So Jacqueline's a very well respected leader. So any sales manager is going to probably interview anybody she gets under. Smart on my part because I already know this. I know sales organization work. And I had to run this like an enterprise sale in order to get my job done. Because I'm going to help them solve the problem because I'm educating more people on what I do. But I still have to get there. So went through that process, but the thing, and we were talking about this earlier, somebody was asking me if you would have LinkedIn auto apply for you. My personal opinion is don't ever do that. And don't go into the black hole without some kind of networking connection somewhere. You've got to be second connected to anyone in this town. And if it is through one of your recruiter friends, more power to it, let them get paid. Because that just auto applying, I really, unless you get really lucky and have really good. But so use your connections and get the introductions. Biggest widest door opener, I probably never would have done. I never would have done in Microsoft. But I just want to identify and not restructure, right? And then tailor your resume. Use your friends, use online resume help. There are many people who you can pay to do resumes, but it's pretty expensive. So, but get any help you can. I will be totally honest, I didn't do my resume. I worked for many, many years with my resume and I just add to it. And then every once in a while, I send it back to another recruiter friend that wrote a name on it and I'll give them 2 weeks. We basically help each other out. But I haven't written my own resume. I've helped other people write their resumes. But I always have somebody else look at it and get that opinion because everybody's going to have it. And then also, so cover letters and professional summaries are kind of, some companies need them, some industries need them, people use them. But usually your professional summary or your cover letter is, you're sending somebody or going into the system and pushing it. It's pretty.
Oh, did we get our 8 o'clock? It's bedtime. The TV shuts itself off at 8 because reasons. Yeah.
So what you want to do is in your cover letter and summary, you want to talk about the position that you want to know now that you were there. You don't, if I were to say to Microsoft, I was in staffing sales and I wanted to do staffing sales and you never worked there. They hired me because I told them I wanted to get back in enterprise sales and I really want to work for Microsoft. And I haven't really cared what it's for Microsoft, but thank you, I just wanted to do Microsoft. So that was really me being very clear about what I want to do and not what I had to do. Because I absolutely did not want to do what I was doing. So, very good. But if I hadn't told them that through my professional summary and their resume, they wouldn't know that. I know many people, or a number of people, especially the project managers and product owners, like all of those titles, and it's getting all squishy, who's doing what. But that's where I was actually just coaching one of my friends because she's a project manager and a PA, but she's doing a product owner shop. Well, my question to her is, what job do you want? What's your next job? And my next job is product owner. Well, we don't worry about the rest. I'm going to talk about product owner. and why you're a good product owner and why you're doing better and why you're doing minimum. So do that. Because, and especially in Angular and all of the different JavaScript frameworks, own Angular and talk about Angular. If you want to do Angular, if you have that Angular on your last contract, but you want to do it on the next contract, tell them. I'm applying for this job because I want to use Angular. Right? Is that number one?
I think so. Anybody else know?
It's got a couple more.
We're on 1.7 or 6, so I don't know. 8 was the most recent one, yeah. Okay.
It's been like 6 months since I asked, so you never know. Could be 10 by now. But that's, you need to write it to the one you want, not the one you have. And then, don't apply to the black hole, and make sure you do pepper in the keyword searches though. Because if you talk to somebody and you do end up in a database, they will pull up your resume through the keyword search. So make sure you pull out all of the relevant keywords and have those in your resume, because that's how they'll find you. And with all of the AI going on in all of this, they're even getting smarter and smarter about all of the keywords. Okay, so you've done the networking, you did the research, you found a job you're interested in, you applied, and and I thought about this particular line for this group because there's a funny story around this too. So a nice fitting suit will go a long way for you if you're interviewing somewhere like but if you're interviewing elsewhere, not so much. I don't know about virtual, but health partners, like, a suit would be a little weird sometimes.
I can say from experience, having done an interview in this room before with someone who showed up in a suit, we all thought afterwards that that was weird.
Exactly. So the perfect segue to my story. So at the small consulting company I was at, one of our financial clients downtown Minneapolis had a huge project coming up and all kinds of positions, and I was like, perfect, we have another project ending, people were going off, let's get them in the door, and set up interviews 3 in a row. And they were in a weird part of downtown, so I actually hung out in a coffee shop and then just went to help them get into the building. It's like a weird spot. So and I have 2 principal consultants and 1 just genius guy that was nothing. So first principal consultant comes in, looks really nice, and it's really good. So he goes upstairs, goes to the interview. The interview's fine, but he didn't really get a vibe from him, so that's kind of weird. So he comes down, right, we're okay. And then the next guy comes in and he looks really nice, but he's just wearing like a polo shirt and it looks nice, it looks nice, whatever. Goes upstairs, he comes down, it's fine. So then we get to the last one. So he comes up and it's really bad, he looks like he was like that. So his hair is up here and his shirt all the shadow, and I was just like, good. But it's what? That's what it goes.
Guy who's all messed up with his driveway.
Because you fit in their culture.
The only reason I think of that is that that's the style of the next guy who could be good for me.
Oh,
Okay.
If anybody knows the guy,
yeah.
What's that? They do, but it had nothing to do with that situation. The only feedback was culture. So I ended up, well, one of the principal consultants relationship. I said, and they brought him on. But that's where culture fit is important. And I say a nice fitting suit will go a long way, and everybody has a new one. But for a job interview, really, and that's where if you are working with your recruiter, you know your recruiter and have them always ask that question, what should I wear? And in my case, I just know it. I have to represent myself. But this is no different than Microsoft Office. I look at a fish out of water most of the time because I don't have so it just depends on the culture and you. And at some point, you just understand that you can see the mic later. If I want it to look nice, just look nice. Who cares? But just like everything else, do it for you. Okay. Also with interviewing, you do want to get there a little early, maybe 5 to 10 minutes early. But you do not want to walk into the building 20 or 30 minutes early. So, let's say this is actually a great example. You're coming to Virtual for an interview. What if you got here exactly on time? Or 5 minutes before and had it? That would be pretty scary because you probably wouldn't find the parking and you'd be kind of like, so you do this without more people on them. Then if you meet more than one person, make sure you get the names of everybody you're meeting so you can work on everybody. Review everything, really get yourself settled, and then go up 5 or 10 minutes early. If you get there a half hour, even 20 minutes early, then because usually their meetings go on the hour to the half hour, you get 5 minutes late, and then you start the entire day. So if all of a sudden they realize, oh, I have an interview sitting in the lobby, and now I'm trying to finish up this work I was doing, but I'm kind of stressed out about that too, and then it just kind of starts syndrome. So get there 5 to 10 minutes early, and then everybody can be settled and just know that they'll have you. And then be prepared. Bring a notebook. If you use a service, use a computer, however you take notes, make sure you have those notes. I personally like to bring the physical one because it makes it easier if you have that portfolio out and you actually have all the information written down or even print it out, doesn't matter. But it looks pretty impressive when you come and just lay it out. And then make sure if you're interested in the job, make sure you show it. If you don't tell me you want the job, they're not going to know. If you're sitting and kind of bored and not really answering questions and it's not really interactive, you're probably not that interested in the job, much less they're probably not that interested. So something is probably missing. But make sure during this interview process that you ask questions. Ask the objection questions. This is my favorite question. We're at the end of the interview, and actually, with the tiny consulting company this happened, the founder was really struggling with how he was going to see it because he kept giving notes and kept writing about that and greater and greater and finally, I looked at him and was like, oh. I see you're uncomfortable and you see something's bothering you, but guess what? A year and a half ago, I also did you know what user experience was, other than they were the people that put the buttons go, and I built an entire practice. And I had 50 people building it. And I literally did that because of that. That's how I got in life. So it doesn't matter. So I had told him, look, it doesn't matter. Don't you guys have people? Like, didn't you just tell me how smart other people are? And so his wife all of a sudden starts it in, and I think we spent the next hour listening to how smart other people are. And it's true, but at the same time, like, I didn't have to be smart. I'm a smart person that gives all the people work. And that's why everybody has strengths and weaknesses, and we all have to work together. But that right there, that finally made the UX comment, made them start laughing. It broke down all the barriers. It actually broke down some cultural barriers that we were worried about. And from then on, the relationship started on the foundation because they knew where I was at and I knew where they were at. But without getting there and really asking those questions, it's hard. And also, in the end, ask them what they're doing. How do you think I'm really interested in this role? What do you think? How do you think I fit? Do you have any objections? Do you have any concerns? Or don't even ask for objections, ask for concerns. Do you have any concerns about me in this role? And be surprised, because they'll be surprised that you didn't answer the question. But if they have concerns, then guess what? That's their objection, and you can answer a question immediately. They're not thinking about it overnight for 3 days and talking to themselves themselves out of cleaning because they'll do that. Where, oh, I don't know, I'm so bothered by that because we never have their answer, and they're never going to tell. You're never going to ask the question again. They're never going to tell you. So you have to get it out cleanly. Okay. Also, what not to do. Do not batch your last week. Please. And how many people in the 2 years of staffing there was talking to that just moving 6 months summer? How many horrible stories they told me about all of their last 2 quarters? And it was really hard for me to want to represent them to the next company when they came out something familiar. So I usually would try to help them and really work their story to make it more positive. Because yes, this company had challenged me, and I think everybody probably knows what's going on with revenues and break people being shut down and all this stuff. So all these amazing people could go to the next thing and say, oh, yeah, my company shut down, it's super negative, and say bad things about it. But the bottom line is, you still had a really good job, you had a really good experience, you probably learned something along the way. So take what's positive out of that experience and then move forward. You know, there was a company not too long ago where things were kind of very well with us. And it was very unfortunate and sad, but at the same time, at some point you have to suck it up and you just move forward. Because you know what, it wasn't the best thing in the world, it wasn't great. Struggled for a while because of it, but ultimately, if you go through your biggest struggle, you can be great. Without that experience, I don't know if I ever would. I don't know. Who knows what I would have done. But I was kind of stuck. I couldn't really do what I really wanted to do, and it just took me some time to get there. But really just knowing yourself is what's truly important, knowing what you want to do. And bashing somebody who's never ever talking negatively will never help. If you have a manager that is a real struggle, and I struggle with this too, because there are a few managers that I just don't think because it's happens. And there's a few people where if you leave a company, you know, let's say you're leaving manager, not good, that's the number one reason why people leave companies is because the manager. And if they say that, well, the manager is challenging, but make sure you can back it up because he does this and this. You know, maybe I know a few female architects who run into this all the time. Maybe I'm a female on the room and maybe listen to it. Or they'll be there, they'll say an idea and then try and say there was somebody else that they didn't say it. So things like that where people get frustrated and somebody might want to leave because of that. But ultimately, you have to help try to solve that problem instead of running away from that. And we try to solve that with your own company. It's even a struggle for some people out in the revenue have a little giant teams trying to solve that problem. But at the same time, don't talk negative. Oh, yeah, I was in the room, you know, this is me. And then you just something to do. And you want to have another line around it because they probably have one. So you don't want to. Okay, and then follow up. So a handwritten letter or a handwritten thank you note, I would go buy this little box $10 from Walgreens or wherever. A handwritten thank you note. Sometimes getting that letter to that was a challenge. I was only able to send one handwritten letter per person, but that's it really does go along with. If you don't do that, however, doing a link to follow up, follow up, make sure you follow up. If you don't tell them you're interested, they don't know, and you don't say that. And then saying something smart in the follow up, the reason why you like the reason why you're interested, and this is oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this because I can really see how my skill set can help in this. And I've been working on this, and I'm really excited on this. Anytime you say that resonates. And then they're going to remember the positive things from the interview. And then if you were referred, make sure you let that person know. Because I do this, I actually experience this all the time. Where I'll connect people and then 6 months later they actually got the job and I didn't know. And I'm like, wait a minute, hey, if you just let me feel it for a day, like that's kind of cool. I just have to figure out how to help you land somebody with opinions. So really following up with your own network and the people who refer. I actually, for the person who helped me in Microsoft, I did a donation to the NHGA Foundation for scholarships. And I did it in her name because I talked about it because I did it, but at the same time, I'm for it, I'm clear about that. It was just, I thought, well, I either spend $100 on flowers, or if I spend $100 at Microsoft, then that's $100, you get a $200 donation for the scholarship. That seems like a great idea, because it's still only $100. And now everybody wins, and he feels good because I did something. But it's really just, and you don't have to do something really bad. You can get sending a Hero card, a Starbucks card, whatever. But doing something is very important. And then if you don't receive any news, and I'm going to address this and kind of defend recruiters a little bit on this, because I did some last 2 years in actual staff in Saco District. They are in charge of so many jobs and so many positions and so many candidates every single day. It would basically be impossible for them to do all of them. Hopefully through technology we can somehow figure that out, but it's basically impossible. And then the numbers that companies are putting on them, how many calls they have to make, how many emails they have to send, and what they have to do, and everything is going so fast. And a lot of their positions might only be open for 24 to 48 hours, or maybe for sure less than almost. I don't think any positions open well. If the position's open for more than a week, so but they're going so fast that it's really, really difficult for them to keep up. And I'm somebody who really, really cares about relationships and really try to get to know every single person I was talking to. And it's almost impossible. Like it's ridiculous. It's crazy the amount of information we're getting every single day. So I will defend them a little bit on that, because that's something where it's really difficult for a contractor to build really solid relationships and sit around for a long time just because of how fast they are. But if you're on the other side of the coin, if you're working with the executive recruiters, they should be invested in your relationship. They should be invested in the long-term relationship of, maybe I'll place you at this job today and then that job next day. But just know that their thoughts is very different. An executive recruiter is probably working on 2 positions. A contract recruiter probably will be the But 20 or 30 though, I mean, it's a lot. That's a lot to manage and track. And I know we have great tracking tools and everything, but it's a lot. So just give me a little bit of a break. And you will get ghosted, but by the way, you'll also ghost somebody else. Okay, I'm nearing the end, but I have a change. And we actually just found out that self-driving cars from BSI, their little startup in St. Louis Park, they're driving it from Minneapolis to the West Coast, and they're actually taking off from where we live in August. So, nice. All right, does anybody have any questions? Any questions?
Yes, when it comes to interviews or recruiters, how important is it to follow up every single step in the process? Or is the initial phone calls, you still follow up after those?
Always follow up. Every single time you talk to someone, follow up. If they haven't already followed up. And if they like you for the role, you're going to do a lot. So yeah, but always err on the side of follow up. And I'd rather someone be annoying than not follow up.
I feel like the former is a rare problem. It's really latter is very common.
Mm-hmm.
So aside from asking a recruiter or getting information about what's a dare when you're interviewing, if you're interviewing as a contractor or a consultant, does that change, you think? If you're going to represent yourself as either person, you know, that may be different from the team that you're
You know, to be honest, I still would ask for something. And because each and every culture is truly different, and I've known consultants that were in full suits and I've known.
Okay.
Yeah, it really, it just depends on the culture. And realistically, you probably know something about it, right? You never know what's considered or what dress pants. Actually, I don't think we do that anymore. Yeah, so you kind of get that culture, but my philosophy is to really never get something. Because a little bit more dress. If you look like you're the person they driving off the street, I would never learn any this.
You mentioned keywords in those ones. Some examples.
Well, actually, I think it's about. So you have Angular as one of them, your developer. So how much Angular is one, the software development cycle,
That was good.
JavaScript, yep, Node.
Express, Lean Stack. You know, yeah, it depends on what kind of job you're looking for, but basically any keyword you can lay some claim to, even if you looked at it on a side project for a week or so. It will generate interest, and you can truthfully express that you have a little amount of experience of it. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's true too. Yeah, if you know what kind of job you want, then looking for what they're looking for and trying to generate something for yourself to point to say yes, I've looked at that, or I've played around with it on the side, or did a project for a friend with it, or whatever.
I found that you have to be careful with keywords too, because
Yep.
if you don't want a cold fusion job, don't put it on your
Yep.
resume.
Oh, yeah, don't do that, especially the older.
I've definitely gotten reached out to for things related to like Atlassian product configs, for having worked with Atlassian products before, and I haven't called that from my resume yet. I probably should, because that is not fun work to do.
But yeah, I like the idea of looking at the job description, the job description and following those. So even tailoring it to those will help.
When you want to interview, I've done like that interview, whether it's a thumbs up and if he's doing it, or a thumbs down, and never seen that picture. So you can experience some of those.
Sure. You can tell pretty quickly, and being an actual salesperson, every single appointment I go on is an interview. That I always look at it as interviews are so easy for me because that's every single appointment. I have to introduce myself, I have to talk about myself, and trust me, I have to listen, I have to do all of those things. But you're right, there's definitely some kind of intuition with that little company, and had I not addressed that, the founder, the way I did, I never would have gotten that, because I could see he was not making a connection. He didn't get how it was going to work. He didn't understand. Quite frankly, he didn't understand kids. So it was me just really being observant about it. But being observant in the room is a definite skill to figure out. Because if suddenly somebody is on their phone, or they're getting distracted, or they're answering something, they're not going to understand. If they were really interested, they would be. So look for keys like that, where you're talking to somebody and they're making really good eye contact, and you're having a really good dialogue and a good conversation, and being upbeat and positive, and it's going in the right direction. You can tell that feels good, because your gut feels good. And it really makes a difference. And you can tell. I've walked out of interviews before where I was like, oh, there's no way that's going to happen. And luckily, I've been very lucky in my career that most of the interviews I go on, people want to bring me to that next in the last few years, I've actually been able to move it down because I've had other things going on. But being observant and making sure you know the room, especially if it's in a boardroom style where you have, and I know consultants have this too, where you get in there and there's 6 people there and somebody not to dress everybody. And you can tell who's like the person who's the Debbie Downer and the person who's the positive person, and there's always that filler question from a long time ago. It's so true. But they're always there and you can always figure it out. But really making sure that you're making eye contact, addressing everybody in the room, and trying to make sure you're addressing each and every one of their concerns, because every single one of them is coming at it from a different direction. One is probably a project manager, one is a business analyst, one is the IT director, one is the team lead, one is a developer. In some cases, if it's a true technical screening, you can have all technical people, and then you probably whiteboard and things like that. And really getting them involved. So one thing we were talking about with whiteboarding with developers, and we were talking about using this at Microsoft the other day, and I was asking how they interview developers, such as students, and asking them if they do whiteboard. Well, what they were saying is some of their favorite candidates are the ones who make the Microsoft people go out and like, oh, I'm doing this. Hey, what would you do on this? And like getting input and really running it like a whiteboard session. And that goes pretty deep. So really making sure you get that interaction is what's key. That answer your question?
Yeah, well, follow-up question. If you can already tell that it's going to be the one vote, what's the protocol in getting the hell out of there?
Yeah. Oh my God. Totally. Yes. 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 If you know, let's say your interview is an hour, and after 25 minutes, you already know if this is just going to work. To save yourself and everybody else all that time and I would just say, you know what? I really appreciate the opportunity. I really think this was nice of you to bring me in, but I just really don't think this is the right role, and I don't want to waste any more of your time. You've already taken this amount of time to watch me, and I really, really, truly appreciate that. And if it was this type of role, I might be more interested, but I'm just not. Let's just take the time back. And you can gracefully exit. I actually, just this last winter, had somebody interview. Mind you, this is actually a very good friend of mine who happens to be a CTO. And I had somebody go in the interview, and this person was quirky, and I knew they were quirky, but they were a very good developer, so I thought it might be okay, we'll see. Well, the guy decided he wasn't interested because they were downtown Minneapolis. He got downtown Minneapolis for the interview. And then he decided 5 minutes before the interview was actually over that he had to use the restroom. But he had already decided he wanted the job. So instead, he left and went to the restroom and he came back to awkwardly finish the interview. So if he already knows at that point, just be done. It's okay. You know what? If you're not feeling the love fest, just be done. Yeah, if you're not, just go. And don't get up and go with me.
Interviews should be a two-way street. You should be true to yourself as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, and the thing is that's, so last fall, when I really applied for Microsoft, I hated my job so much that I would sleep in my car and instead of going in the office. It's a bad idea. And really, you have to be honest with yourself. It's just not a good fit. It's not the right role. I actually ran into the sales manager that I had at my last company, and she was asking me how I was doing and everything, and I was like, Kristen, you know, wrong job. You have to find the right job. That's the bottom line. And if I was in the wrong job, no disrespect to the last company I was at, no disrespect to my sales manager, super nice thing, but it was just not the job for me, and that's fine. Sometimes you're in a job where it's just not right. So that's when it's up to you to figure out.
And I'll say that, like, sometimes asking the right questions for being true to yourself will pull double duty, right? Like, it will both help you screen out interviews that you can tell already aren't going to fit, but it also shows the person across the table that's evaluating you, like, you respect yourself enough to find a place that's good for you, that's a good fit, that meets your desires and needs. And so if you come prepared with questions
that get to the heart of like, is this a good role for me or not? Ask questions about what you'll be doing daily, how you can contribute, what matters to you to contribute, and whether you can do those things there. Then it'll show to that interviewer that you care enough about this job search to find something that's good for you, and it'll help them figure out if they can make that happen for you, and it'll already be getting them thinking about like, how can I give that to this person?
Right. Interviewers can be just as nervous as the
Yeah.
interviewee.
Yeah,
Because they're trying to accomplish the same thing. They want a place of job.
they need to fill a need to help whatever they're doing on their team, and they want a good fit. They don't want to do it the wrong way. They don't want to screw up and hire the wrong person, because that sucks. Because then that person's going to be your teammate for 6 months, and if you screw up evaluating them, then that's a bummer. Like, now you're working with them for 6 months, and then you end up being a good fit. And it's not like you get trained for doing this stuff much, right? Like, I've been lucky at previous jobs where I've done interviewing to have any kind of rubric discussed prior to going into the interview. A lot of times it's just, hey, this candidate's showing up. Talk to them. And it's like, talk to them about what?
That's one of the problems too, being a developer. Companies don't teach developers how to interview people.
So if you have a more senior person on your team who's able to give you that advice and what to look for, or at least take the lead in the interview, that's helpful. But yeah, a lot of times, the company itself might not be giving that person the resources they need to evaluate candidates, and that reflects on that company, too. Like, not only is that person nervous, but they're not necessarily really experienced in doing this. There's enough demand right now that it's sometimes hard to find candidates, and not always train people up.
I was on the company and I was interviewing people. So I just interviewed, I just thought it was good. First, developer, and I know like the more you talk to with them, you develop the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, only it's easy.
One piece of advice I usually give is talk to the person who you can find the closest on your team that does the most and then talk to them about it. So a lot of times it happens to be project manager, because you're project starter and you have to do those with people, but also the managers and directors or team leaders that are doing it. Somebody who maybe just filled out a really big team or something like that, really can verify on what they're doing and the questions they're asking. And if you have any kind of file share or something, you can share those documents.
I watched a few weeks ago, we were trying to and once we talked about our favorite presentations.
It's a good exercise for a team to do, especially when you are hiring. Yeah, if no one else is bringing that up on your team, ask the question, like, what are we looking for? What are we really looking for out of this person? What would be a successful interview and an unsuccessful interview? What would that look like? What do we want to evaluate?
What's the IPA say, speaking of myself as well, most of my career, I've worked 2 years. So what's a nice professional say what we need for nice healthy work out there? So you work very hard.
Become a consultant, they take the hours. Become a consultant, or they take the hours 40 hours.
That's not nice to either.
I know.
But
But in a lot of cases. So there are places in town that you probably know about. There's one rather large competitor of mine that is over at the T3 Center, and if you go work there as a developer, you are going to work a lot. They will pay you a lot. If you make an interview, that's great. But you're going to work a lot. And that's a lot of money. So making sure you know that culture and that's a culture question. Do you have to work 40-hour week? I need to know for work-life balance purposes. I have these things going on. I need to figure this out and be honest about it. Because if they're not honest, if they say, "Oh, no, we really only work 40 hours unfortunately, they just broke the casting. Sleeping rooms.
Something I've asked for school selling sometimes is what it is to do like most stuff there, what's there,
And again, good question. Oh, yeah.
No, I think exactly how you phrased it is the right way to ask it, though. Is that what's the work-life balance like here? That's a coy and graceful way of asking, like, what does a typical work week look like? How does vacation policy get approved? I don't think it's inappropriate to ask about that kind of stuff. I mean, I suppose, I've spoken with people who I guess would have considered that forward or presumptuous, or perhaps questioning the motivation. Like you're looking for a candidate who wants to work hard and get things done for you. And when you're asking those kinds of questions, it seems, maybe it's signaling that, you care about how much vacation you can take. But it's important, like that's an important thing to know, taking a job. And I think if you frame it in such a way that says, look, the problems you're working on are very interesting and I'm looking forward to tackling those challenges. However, in order to, be at my best, I need to make sure that I'm able to take breaks and spend time with my family or my friends or whatever outside of work activity, recharges you. I think framing it in that way is a perfect way to say, look, I do want to get things done, but I also want to have my time respected.
Well, I think that if things take you asking that kind of question as a major turn off, it's probably not a place you want to look at, right?
Yeah, I think, someone who, if you were to frame it in such a way that made it clear and they're taking offense at that, then yeah, that might be a red flag.
I actually open up that with, so I have some questions. Random housekeeping questions. Okay, so, and then you can just kind of go down the line and be very unemotional about it. All right, we're done failing on the 40, are there, other crimes, there's stuff to do, there's crimes, but ultimately.
You're getting details about healthcare benefits, because that's sometimes something that's very obfuscated that can be a big difference, like whether you have, a high deductible plan that's, a 7K deductible, but they fund 3K, or if it's a comprehensive plan, but the out-of-pocket maximum is like 15K versus 5, that makes a big difference. Especially it makes a big difference. I've noticed that sort of stuff recently as a new father. Like, you will max out your health benefits if you have a baby. So if that's, if you have any kind of known medical procedures or expenses, that's a big part of your comp. That's important. And getting specifics about that, is not so much a, this is all that's important to me. It's this is one thing that's important to me. And framing it that way is saying, I'm trying to evaluate this job on the whole against other jobs.
What's happened the last few years?
Right.
My favorite anecdote on this is friends who said, I think there's no pressure on what power is above and beyond. She started crying when he asked that question. So that was indicative for him that maybe.
This is a sensitive subject.
And as developers, Jenn indicated on her slide, next year, 40% of the developers out there are going to be contractors. Mm-hmm. So don't be afraid to look at contractors as an option. I turned my back at one time ago, and companies appreciate their time much more than contractors. can they do it full time? And finding out information, during an interview about benefits and, healthcare and all that, it's not always right there in black and white. Really,
You have to dig at that stuff, yeah.
right.
Yeah. Whereas if you're figuring it out for yourself, you have all the detail in front of you.
I mean, contracting is not for everybody, but you can make it work if you just look into it.
Well, and then,
Right. And another nice thing about being a consultant too is you don't have to do annual reviews. You don't have a lot of the same red tape that full-time people have to go through. So instead, you can focus on the work if you want to be a developer. That's the work.
how many companies where mostly full-time employees are in meetings all day long and for people that really get the work done? They're the only ones that are in meetings all day long.
Is it important that assessing is kind of
Yes, this is recorded. I've tweeted it. The link is on the meetup page.
kind of a specific question, but junior level is where I'm at. Just need to ask about what kind of grades are especially when it's like contract consulting, they can maybe benefits versus equivalent and more as. Contracting and people in the room space.
It's really going to depend on the years of experience. And, I mean, if you're offering that information to somebody else, it's hard to tell. But there's recruiters typically know, and they can provide that information. And some recruiting agencies will pay more than others. So you have to kind of shop around with your consultant. But the relationships, as Jenn mentioned, are also important because some recruiters, when they pay better, don't really help you in finding the next
Yeah. And then as an LTE, really, that's where Glassdoor does come in handy. And I only say handy because Chicago skews us. So the, I don't know if the rates are, they're suspect. But it gives me a good system. And really knowing where you're at, if you're at it. But pulling those numbers and using the numbers of what the benefits package is actually worth versus in consulting, that was on the end. Yeah, I've been in situations where I would have cheaper healthcare if I got it from my family and my family.
So
So,
that's the way it is. I get my health insurance on that and it's cheaper than, and I get better benefits than if I'm working at the company.
right, yeah, because we had actually, during a couple of transitions ago, we weren't exactly sure how it was going to work out, and we did the research. Then a year later, I realized, oh, that's great. Interesting.
But everybody's different, so you really have to look into it.
Exactly, and it's your own person's, but that's even where you talk to.
Right.
Really, I mean, and if you're really digging down into it, like I'm looking for this position or down this information, you might as well have it now because it's never gonna change later. And I will say, and especially as a woman, because women have problem with this, like we don't ever ask for papers. And I learned a lesson from that, and I did this during this last process. I asked for the number that means something, and I got it. So that's where, if sometimes if you look at now with developers, if you're suddenly, hourlies, let's say you're $75 an hour contracting for a couple of years, and suddenly you want to be indirect, it's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough justification. But if you were $75 an hour, and now it's been a couple of years and you want 85, that's going to be your total salary. And if you have room to grow, then you have room for a raise. So you're giving yourself a raise by doing that. But don't ask for anything too astronomical, just get within that one. If you're a 3 to 4 year person, I think that you're between 65 and 85 an hour, depending on the position, just go out there from there. So don't pick a number sure. But that it's a pretty good range to think about. And then in your next gig, after you spend 2 years and learning more and having more skill set, then that's when the number goes up. I just coached a couple, actually, my husband's gym friend, just by being a little more confident, then not pay. Because if you're asking for too much money, then they're just going to okay, the industry pulled up, it's crazy, that's not happening. But if you're only asking for $5 more, you'll probably get it.
Never sell your stuff short.
Exactly. And if you don't ask for it, you won't get it.
How do you handle the back work with the program? Basically training like the classic with asking for the colleges kind of back and forth.
That's where you get more pay for yourself. And say, I'm currently at this rate, in order to do, I have to be your own expert. Because sometimes it'll get skewed and, you know, granted, there's people in town that just don't pay. So it always killed me because they lose really good developers because they were $10 to $15 lower than the rest of the market. And then you'd have to get somebody who wasn't quite as skilled, and it was just always interesting. But yeah, so really be your own advocate and ask for questions on that. And but be clear, this is what I'm getting, this is what I get. Most independent consultants I've worked with in the past, I'll have their rates down pat as a good.
Right. I usually don't like to list what I'm currently doing. I usually say this is what I'm willing to accept.
Yep, exactly.
And that way it's
That's
a
a great
starting
way to
point.
say it. Yep.
Yeah, because if you tell them what you're currently making, that's you are like more than that, that's where they're going to start.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's anchoring bias. Everything.
Is there anybody go after this? Like, is that
Networking. Yeah, that's basically if you introduce yourself to enough people, then yeah, you don't have to be introduced through recruiters. Recruiters make networking their job, right? So if you're not networking yourself, they're networking as a service. But yeah, if you are attending events like this, introducing yourself to people, getting people to know who you are, yeah, pitching in here and there with things so that people see like, oh yeah, this person really makes themselves useful, helps out. You don't have to stretch yourself crazy to do stuff, but yeah, hey, like you want to get on my good side, volunteer to speak. Like I'm always looking for people who need to speak. So
Well, and also, if this is where LinkedIn can help, because let's say you want to get into virtual. So who's leader at virtual? How do you find it? Go to LinkedIn, find that out, find one of your friends who work here, and then reach out to them and say, hey, I'm kind of interested. You guys have any openings, or maybe you've already seen them. Do you know a manager for this position? So if you pull the opening from their website, stick it into an email and say, hey, if you know anybody who might be in charge of this position, like any fans or anybody else I could talk to, go for it. If they know, they'll help you. And if they don't, they'll probably help you. Because they're your friend.
The thing I would also say is, I would say we could tell a good recruiter and recruiter, looking on what they're looking for, if they go into more things other than those, let's say the project, the technologies, location, remote time, size of team, industry, like all those things should, affect your rate a little bit. Maybe having more remote time might say, oh, I'd be willing to work less for this work. I want to work more if it was a further drive. So it's really understanding your full value and what you want to see. So if you're saying, I can do this number, like that's all they're thinking, and if you can't do it, they're moving on to the next. But it's really good when a recruiter wants to understand the full value of what the potential opportunity is. I'm going to say what that scope is. That makes sense.
well, we're getting close to time. Does anybody have any other last questions here? No? Okay. Well, thanks very much, Jen. All right. I do have a JetBrains license to give away. So if you are Dan Schonhart, come give me your email. I can get you a JetBrains license hooked up. Cool. All right. Thanks everybody for coming. Our next event will not be the first Wednesday of July because that's the week of July 4th. In fact, it might be July 4th. But the second Wednesday of July, it's like the 11th or 12th, 10th. The 10th. Thank you, Keegan. We'll have the aforementioned Todd Gardner here talking about. Yes. Oh, it's about when to build solutions versus buy them. Yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, catch us here next month. Hopefully, we will find a pizza sponsor for next month. If you know of anybody who would like to get their name out to this meetup, let us know.
Yeah, we're still looking for sponsorships, and we're always looking for new speakers. So if you're interested in speaking or presenting a topic similar to the one in front of a smaller group, also let us know via email or LinkedIn.
It's a great way to get yourself exposure, to get your name out there. Like I said, to kind of give something to the community. It can be a decent amount of work depending on how well you know your thing and how much practice you have presenting something. But yeah, I can say for my part, one of the best things that I did in my career was speak at meetups and conferences because I got a lot more interesting people for doing so.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who speak for that. But in actually a group like this is like the perfect place to start.
Yeah, exactly. This is pretty, we're pretty chill and nobody's going to heckle you here if it's your first time. We're going to be pretty understanding. So meetups are actually the perfect place if you're trying to take that step up to speak at a local conference or something. Testing out your presentation tactics and your slide deck and all that stuff at a meetup is the perfect thing to do.
Do lightning talks as well? Or?
We do, yeah. I mean, we haven't had one in, because no one's volunteered. I normally call at the beginning for anyone who would like to do a lightning talk. But yeah, we are totally open to that. You got something to talk about for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, something you've been doing, or just something really cool that you found that you want everybody else to see. We have done that in the past, and people have enjoyed that when we do it. Cool. All right, well, thanks everyone for coming. If there's pizza left over and you want to take some home, please take it home.
It's definitely
This is the best angular meetup I've ever been to.
Thank you very much. No, thank you all very much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
Always Homework.
Oh, yeah, also,
That's